Howdy. Today, it's kind of a boring video. Not really much. I'm really mostly just doing this because the Choo Choo wanted to know how Octavia worked. You know what? So here we are. This is a very tame, not really all too interesting, but a video about Octavia. So for people that want to know how Octavia works, why she's so good, and have a low effort build on her, then you can see the build. So here's the fashion, first of all, on my Octavia. I think it looks pretty decent. I like how she looks. Now, Octavia is the most broken Warframe in the game, to a degree. It depends on what you're doing. A lot of her power comes from the enemy's level. So if you are the average Warframe player, like 99% of people that do not do endurance or level cap, Octavia will be very strong. But that's really where it cuts off. Whereas anybody that does higher level stuff like level 1000, 2000, 3000, all the way up to level cap, she's just going to get more and more powerful. She just scales even harder. And you will soon see why that is. So, let us start with Octavia's abilities. First, we will go to her passive. Her passive, replenish 30 energy over 30 seconds for Octavian allies within 15 meters. Why did I press that? When abilities are activated. Basically, you just get 1 energy per second for 30 seconds to both you and your teammates, right? Like, it's a third of energy nexus every time you cast an ability. It does not stack, but it does refresh if you cast another ability. Very simple, just free energy for you and your teammates. Next, we have her first ability, Mallets, and this is where a lot of her power comes from. Rhythmically beats damage into nearby enemies and draws their fire. Damage inflicted on the mallet increases its lethality. That is why it's so broken. So it costs 25 energy. The damage it does is blast damage. However, it is not going to apply the blast status, only the damage type. It has a 2.5 damage multiplier that builds up the more it gets shot. It stores all the damage that's done to it. Has a base radius of... Do I still have the augment on? No, okay, we're good. Has a base radius of 10 meters and a base duration of 20 seconds. So if we come out here, I want to go to... Wait. Okay, yeah, no. I want to switch to a build where I don't have anything on. So you can see the radius at base. That's what it looks like. You throw it out, just sits there. And enemies will shoot at this. It will aggro to this little ball. And the more damage that ball takes... Why did it just suck stuff in when I reloaded? That was weird. What the hell? Oh, because I'm reloading. Duh, I'm stupid. Anyways, the more damage it takes, the more it does. And enemy damage scales unbelievably high in this game, the higher you go in levels. So that means it's just going to keep doing more and more and more. So when you get to level cap and enemies are doing like millions and billions of damage, it's going to store all those damage and then just destroy the crap out of all of your teammates, which is kind of insane, to say the least. But that's a big whoa. Next, we have her second ability, which is her helmet ability. Let's go here. Let me take all of this off. Resonator. Launches a roller ball that charms foes to follow it. Combines with the mallets, create a roving ball of sonic destruction. This is very simple. It throws out a little ball. The ball is pretty stupid, but it will roll around and aggro enemies itself, and it can also pick up the mallets and roll around with it, continuing to aggro enemies. And it does a little bit of damage itself, and when it explodes or expires, it will stagger enemies. It's okay, but this is usually what people get rid of with the helmet, because the ball can be really dumb. But you can have it so that it follows you around with the mallets. What's kind of annoying about it, though, is the base duration is the same as mallet. So like you cast one and then the other, and then one runs out before the other one finishes. I wish one of them was like 5 seconds longer. I feel like that would be more convenient, but it is what it is. Next, we have her third ability. I had to switch builds again. Metronome. This is another one of the reasons she's broken. Grants buffs to those who consistently perform actions in time to Octavia's music. Timed jumps offer the Vivis speed buff, which is a movement speed buff, not the same as sprint speed, because that the speed buff applies when you're like ADSing or like an Invisivar and stuff. So that has some level of importance. Where was I? Crouching on the beat grants cloaking with the Nocturne buff, so that's why you see Octavia players spamming their crouch button nonstop so they go invis. Firing rhythmically bestows Opera multi-shot buff, so it's just multi-shot, and timed melee swings give the Forte damage buff. It is just to melee damage though. What's unique about the multi-shot buff though is it's just multi-shot to your all of your like attacks that are projectiles. And that applies to all of your weapons, including your melees. Which means if your melee has multi-shot, or like it shoots a projectile, it can fire multiple. So if you have high enough multi-shot, you can make the Tenet Agendus with its heavy attack shoot more than one heavy attack. The multi-shot will affect it. It can also affect gun blades, to my knowledge, or pretty much anything that shoots stuff. I don't think it works with Serrata or glaives, in general, because you're throwing the glaive itself, you're not shooting something. But anything that shoots something as a melee, the multi-shot should affect it. So you just get permanent invisibility, because you can just spam crouch all over the place. Oh yeah, and it also gives you armor. So armor, multi-shot, melee damage, speed. It's really annoying to get the buffs, because you have to do stuff in rhythm, which is just really annoying at times, but overall it's a very busted ability. Finally, we have her fourth, Amp. Costs 100 energy, which is pretty typical for fourth abilities on Warframes in this game. The radius is 14 meters. Oh yeah, and the radius on Metronome is 12, and it follows you. I forgot about that. 20 seconds duration. And the buff duration is 15 seconds each. I forgot to mention that. Back to her fourth, though. 14 meter radius, 30 second duration, and it gives a damage multiplier from 0.25 to 2x. So I think it might, the 0.25, I think it can make you do less damage. I haven't experienced that before. Basically, the louder it is, the bigger the damage buff you'll get, capping out at 2x, and that does skill with strength. It's pretty irrelevant, though, because the capping part, or not the capping part, but like it going up, or you having to build it up at all, because as soon as you shoot or attack or anything happens or enemies attack, it's going to make sound and it's just going to max it out. So I don't even know why that's a thing, to be perfectly honest. But it is something that's in the game, I guess. So big whoa, and I can show you. So like if I come out here and I cast it, look at that. It's already at 112. I didn't even do anything, and it already went up. And now it's maxed out. Yeah, kind of weird. Now, the part where you want to go in rhythm with her buffs, also the in rhythm beats that happen from her resonator are affected by her mandicord, which is where the music comes from. I know some people really care about the music. I personally find it annoying as shit, so I just like used a base loadout of music. And in my settings, for anybody interested, what is going on? Why am I randomly shooting now? If you go to your settings and you go to audio, okay, and you scroll down right here, ally mandicord, self mandicord. I thought I had this down. Oh, I turned it up because Chode was trying to show me the music on his Warframe. But you can set these both to 0. Now you don't have to hear this annoying ass shit repeat that just repeats the same 5 seconds of music for hours at a time. I find that to be very nice. I hate the music part of her because it's just way too long. I don't like that it's just a little short period over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It makes me want to off myself in GTA. Back to her abilities though. So, let's just go over again real quick what she has. Amazing aggro, big PP damage that scales unbelievably well with enemy level because of damage scaling. Mini energy nexus for herself and teammates for her passive. Weird ball that you'll likely put a helmet over. Very unique universal multi-shot buff, melee damage buff, speed buff, and infinite duration, or not infinite duration, infinite invis for yourself and teammates. And a multiplicative damage buff that gives you massive damage. Another thing that is something worth mentioning here is that the fourth ability, when used in tandem with the first ability, doubles its radius. See how it just got way bigger? Very big whoa. Simulate enemies. Now, oh wait, I need my abilities to reset real quick. Nope, I gotta wait for the duration to run out. Because I want to show you the mallets with her 4. Simulate, okay? Caster 1. It's gonna build up pretty fast though because of the AI not being paused. The damage went up with amp, okay? Now, look at that. See that? These guys are only level 200. They're not even that high of a level and just completely decimated the ever-living crap out of these enemies. From what it looks like, I think the damage does increase with amp. Okay. It's hard to tell. I couldn't figure out in my testing because it builds up every time it gets hit, but it has to get hit to damage back. But I'm not quite sure how the damage scaling works with amp and mallet. Now it does state that it doubles the damage and range of nearby mallets, but if you look at the mallets on the Wikipedia page or the Warframe wiki, it says that it does not actually double the damage of mallets. So I'm kind of confused, but it seems like it increases the damage, and it says it does. Is the wiki just wrong? Why does it there? I don't know. Regardless, you're always going to want it out because it just increases you and your allies' damage anyways. All of these buffs, they can apply to your teammates, so she's an insane support. Ridiculous damage, amazing survivability, absurd amounts of support, very easy to use. So a build you would want to go with her is just comfort, really. You don't really need anything else. Comfort and maybe a bit more survivability. So this is a very low effort build. I made this build specifically for Chode. It's probably not the best build in the world, but it's good enough to work. We don't have to worry about armor strip nearly as much as we used to. I mean, I just showed you my mallet killing all of those enemies with no mods on. Literally no mods. And I didn't even cast my other 2 abilities. I used 2 abilities on a frame with 0 mods, and it killed them within seconds. That shows how unbelievably overpowered Octavia is. So, because of armor changes, you don't need armor strip nearly as much, but it's still going to be very valuable to have at least a little bit. So we want corrosive projection for a bit of armor strip. That's going to give us nearly triple the damage on a mallet, assuming we have no other armor strip. Prime sure-footed, so you don't have to deal with knockdown. This isn't usually needed because you are invis. You can still get knockdown invis, but it won't happen nearly as often. I just have it here for comfort. Run whatever you want. Primed redirection, so that we have bigger shield capacity, makes us slightly tankier on the low end, and gives us a bigger shield gate, which is nice on the high end. Your shields should actually be at like 1,000. My Octavia is unranked because I put another form on her like last night to fit on one of these mods, a Blind Rage, I think. And I never leveled her up again. We have fast deflection so that we get our shields back faster, so that we can get our shield gate back faster just for more survivability. Because even though you're invis, sometimes you'll get hit by AoE stuff, and that can get annoying. So we want some level of survivability on top of the invis. We have Arcane Aegis for even more survivability. Arcane Energize for extra energy if we bottom out and we really need more energy, making it so an energy orb can help us get it all back. Energy Nexus, so that on top of our passive gives us 4 energy per second, which is very nice. Stretch and Overextended for big PP range, so that we get lots of range for our buffs to affect our allies, and so that our mallet can hit a lot of enemies in a very big radius. Mallet, to my knowledge, and from using it, I don't believe it goes through walls. I could be wrong about that, though. Next is Blind Rage. Blind Rage nukes our efficiency, but that's why we have all the extra energy regen and energize. So we don't have to worry as much about that, because we want the strength so we get more damage on mallets and bigger buffs to our damage and stuff from our, our 3 and 4. Prime Flow for energy max, of course, and our helmet ability over our 2 is Nourish, Very boring, very lame, I know, but this is a low effort build that doesn't take any amount of brain power to use. So we have Nourish, that way we get a 1.83x energy multiplier, so our 4 energy per second is then going to go up to like 7.3, something like that, over a little over 7 energy per second, which is very nice. And then we can get viral, so we can apply viral to our weapons. Getting hit will make a viral explosion. It will stagger enemies. Just more survivability, more viral everywhere, and more energy. And this applies to our teammates. So this gives them more viral, more energy, on top of our passive giving them energy per second. So extra energy and support for the team. Nourish just fits really well on her, even though it's boring. Very easy build to make. Very easy build to use. Just run around. Put your 1 down, kill stuff, cast your 4. Look at, dude, you can't even see where it's at because it's, look, it's so big, it goes all the way from here. It's still all the way out in the wall. You can't even see it. That's how crazy the range is on it. Cast your 3 and then just crouch until you're invis and stuff. And now you're good. You're set. You're good for life. And all you do is just repeat casting your abilities when they run out over and over and over and over and over. And that's Octavia. I'm not going to show her in mission. Actually, yeah, I will. I'll do it for the Choo Choo. I guess she is somewhat worth using in mission, so you can see that she actually works. Solo? Yes, we're on solo. Good. I don't think I'll ever do a max invest in Octavia. There's no point. So, we'll kind of make this sort of a max investment. Not really, but as in we're doing a solo and extra cell. Because why not, man? Why not? Might as well. Choo Choo, right? Do it for the lulz, for the memes. This will be a very easy Netracell. I am on solo, select Netracells, enter the anchor hold, massive PP. Let's go. Hopefully we don't get annoying buffs like losing HP. That's embarrassing. We gotta go back to the Sanctum because I forgot to switch my weapons. I have a Dara Vandal on, and that's the only weapon. Octavia can kill everything mostly fine, but it's still gonna be annoying if we don't at least have a usable weapon, because, well, having a weapon is nice. I like to run Vazarin on her, just for even more survivability, or Madrai, if you were to do Void Cascade, but what you run is entirely up to you. Doesn't really matter too much. If you want extra armor strip, you can go corrosive, but I'd rather just leave the armor strip to my teammates and then just do whatever the hell else I want. We're going to slap on Comerex. Actually, no, because these are Murmur and I don't want to have to get headshots. We'll use Burst and screw it. Blast, Toxin, Burst, and I just got this Riven. I unrolled it, or I unveiled it and I rolled it. So we'll slap that on. Slap on the Swirler, sure, why not? This is a fun weapon. Look at this, big whoa. And then we'll use the Tenet Agendas since I was just talking about it. Voila, and we're good to go this time for real. I will trim out me running and getting the hacks, but first we'll let you actually see what debuffs I have, because there might be that one guy. I know I would be interested, so maybe there's that one guy like me that wants to know exactly what debuffs I'm dealing with for when it's affecting. That one doesn't matter. That one's not that big of a deal because I have Vazarin. That one doesn't matter. And that one doesn't matter. Awesome. We didn't get any debuffs that really matter to us. Alright, I will see you in the circle. Big whoa. We're back now. Big whoa. I should have ended the trim back here. I don't know. We're back. That's what matters. I just had a thought randomly while doing this. I was like, I wonder if people actually look at the time it takes me to finish the Netracell at the end. Because it's usually a decent bit of time, longer than you would think it would take. And the reason for that is when the past couple times when I'm like, I'm going to trim this now, when I'm running around to do the hacks, I'm also farming Stella. I go for those sarcophaguses, because why not? Your boy's always in desperate need of Stella. So I might as well grab it. I just realized I have no companion on. So keep that in mind. Look, 134k. It's crazy damage. Yeah, keep that in mind. We don't have like viral from a companion here because I forgot to put one on, but I'd run like Nautilus or Diriga or Worm or whatchamacallit, the Hound, whichever one you would like. Any of them really work with Octavia. Bro, the Netromite died to my mallet. That's funny. Well, Phasma makes life so much easier getting those iframes. It's beautiful. If you really wanted even more survivability, I would actually recommend running a secondary weapon with secondary fortifier, just so you can get overguard on your Octavia as well. Because you can see, even with the invis, you can take damage from like AoE stuff or abilities from Exodus. It's not as big of a problem when you're in a team because they get aggroed a lot more. I forgot to recast my mallet. But still something worth noting. Something that might be worth doing because you really don't need more damage on your Octavia most of the time. So you might as well just build in for comfort, and survivability is part of comfort. If you look at that, I've barely killed anything with my guns. Like, the mallet is just murdering everything on its own. It's kind of ridiculous how overpowered Octavia is. Recast all my abilities. Spam that. Now I actually have to run this way because the Netromite wasn't close enough for my mallet to pulverize it. And now we just run back over here. Very easy, very little effort. Massive PP energy. Where's it? I want to... I'll just switch to my Incarn Farm. I want a better place. I don't really like this circle to hill because it's harder for the enemies to see. The mallet. And we want the enemies to make sure they're hitting the mallet so we get maximum damage. Why, hello, Necromech. Wow, you're getting lots of overguard from that little bitch boy on top of you. Now that guy's dead. Skill issue. Got him. Spam that. Oh my god, boy, oh my god, what do you mean? There we go. Make sure I cast that, make sure I cast this. Oh, come on, there must have been a Leech Xmas or whatever. It healed the Necromech back up. That's annoying. And I'm using a Toxin Blast weapon. Well, it's over already. The enemies around got killed because of the mallet. So, yeah, Octavia. Obviously a very balanced Warframe. Yes, balanced. And they can't really nerf her because, well, I mean, people will be salty. That's probably why they haven't nerfed Saren yet. Saren and Revenant have been overpowered for a while, especially Saren. And they just leave them untouched. Because they do nerf stuff in this game, but not always. They don't nerf the most broken shit, but they nerf less broken shit. I don't really understand the balancing process behind DE. I love DE, don't get me wrong, but like, confused? Question mark? But I mean, hey, you do you, DE, I guess. Whatever works. Big whoa. Now the Choo Choo and his big El Papi stepdaddy will know how Octavia works. Or at least to a degree that they know what they're doing on some level. Damn, I didn't max out my Octavia Prime. And we got a Crescendo instead of an Archon Shard. Sad face. That's gonna do it for the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe. Adios.